Are you ready to light up your cloud, everyone? So we're just going to start in a few seconds. I believe everybody has just joined us. So let's get started. So are you guys ready to light up your cloud? Today, this webinar is brought to you by HP and according with Vivit. Today, webinar is hosted by me, Ali Marika. Just kind of a quick background about myself. I'm a co-leader chapter of Florida of Vivit, and I've been using HP tools almost about 3+ years. And I've used HP cloud tools like with HP ALM, SaaS, where we have the repository set up in the local machine in the cloud. So very interesting today to learn more about the cloud technology by HP. Today's panelists, we have Ramachandra Vardarajan. He also like to call himself RV, and Sashi Masoor. A quick background about our panelists. RV is the Senior Director of Cloud Solution Product Management. He leads HP Software Product Management team focused on cloud solutions. He's also responsible for product strategy and vision of HP SW's cloud solutions portfolio, which includes HP Cloud Service Automation, HP Coder, HP IT Business Analytics, and HP Enterprise Maps. Before taking on the product management role, he led HP Software Kite Solutions lab organization, where he was responsible for strategy and development of cloud solutions. Prior to HP, he held executive level positions leading organizations to develop and implement distributed system management products, private and hybrid cloud products, and solutions at leading technology companies, including Intuit and Oracle. A quick background about Sashi also. He is the Director of Product Management, HP Helium, HP Software. He's responsible for strategy and roadmap of Selenium Cloud System, Selenium Eclipse, and Selenium-based solutions. He brings with him prior working experience from technology companies such as Eclipse Systems, Google, STM Microelectronics, and Sun Microsystems. He holds an MS and PhD in computer science from University of California, Santa Barbara. Just a few housekeeping items. Today's webinar is the live session and is attended for all Vivit members. The recording will be posted in the webinar session on the Vivit website, visible for all members. Additionally, today's slide deck and webinar recording will be made available to you. We will send you the link via email once they are posted to the Vivit website. If you have any question as we go along, please type and send them in using the question pane in the webinar control panel. The webinar control panel looks something like this. Here's a picture of the control panel. So if you have any question, you want to submit a question, make sure you use the question pane. Just expand that, clicking on the arrow, and just type in your question and click on send. So again, are you ready to light up your cloud? I believe we are. So I will hand this to Ari. Are you there, Arvi?
Yeah, Ali, I'm here. Hi.
Hi, Arvi. Thank you for presenting for today. So, Arvi, I had a question even before starting. I mean, I'm so excited right now to know more about this cloud system. So, what are the driving forces impacting businesses and enterprises IT in particular?
Hey, Ali, thanks for asking this question, and also very happy to be here talking to you and the rest of the team here. So it is an exciting time, and I'm glad you said that as well. So there are lots of trends that are happening in the industry, so that we see it and we hear it through our customers and through analysts, right? So we hear a lot about the Moore's Law and what is it doing to the IT industry as such. Cloud computing, you talk about big data, you talk about Internet of Things, a lot of new technology that are happening out in the industry, and a lot of competition, hence, are able to leverage that. So what that does to business is kind of creating a climate where the business are expecting to compete against those competition and then win in the marketplace, right? So they certainly are looking for, the business are looking for faster services, like coming up from ideas all the way to kind of testing it in the market and launching new products, and be competitive in the marketplace, right? So what that does internally is putting pressure on IT to deliver services faster and at a lower cost and do more, really, right, with what they have. So it's a kind of a perfect storm, and it's only getting better and better in terms of new technologies.
Oh, that's exciting. Do you want to add something else, or shall we move to the next slide?
Yeah, I think if there's anything else, I mean, we also have Shashi on the line, our other product line director. I mean, Shashi, if there's anything else would you want to add, feel free to jump in.
Hey, thanks, Harvey. And thanks, Ali and Vivit, for hosting the webinar, and thanks everybody for participating. Great to be on the show today. No, that was a great coverage, Harvey. I think just a quick add to that would be, or rather an extension of what you just said, would be the transformation that we're seeing in the industry is phenomenal, and it's coming from two different angles, and they're converging. One is happening from the application side, and as you rightly point out, Andy, my apologies, Harvey, as you rightly point out, the application workload-driven transformations are more in terms of how do you quickly react to the business changes, how do you react quickly to the changes in the competitive landscape, which is triggering a series of transformations on the IT side. And how do we quickly provision resources? How do we repurpose resources? How do we improve efficiencies? At the end of the day, it's agility, it's total cost of ownership, and ROI. And that's what cloud is about to drive and has been driving, and gets delivered in different form factors. Those are, for example, some of our customers prefer to deploy clouds on-prem, some in a managed service setting, and a combination of these different form factors of cloud deployments.
Right, very interesting, very interesting. So I want to learn more about it. So I'm moving to the next slide, and let's see what you have over here. Oh, about HP Helium portfolio. So, Shashi, can you tell me about HP Helium and how HP Helium manages for hybrid IT environment?
Absolutely, Ali. So that was a perfect segue, I guess. I didn't plan for it, but it happened to be that way, which is good. From a HP Helium perspective, we are here to help our customers move further in their IT transformation or cloud transformation or data center transformation. There are all these different terms that are being used, but without getting into the jargon, I would like to be able to say, HP Helium, the objective is to be able to meet customers where they are in terms of their existing state of art in IT and application development and deployment, and take them to where they would like to be in the next 3, 5, 10 years. So be a partner to our customers in their cloud journey. And as part of that, given the diversity of customers we have, the global customer base that HP has, we have a bunch of different offerings. Those offerings, some of them are software-oriented, some of them prefer integrated solutions, and some of them are more geared towards a services-driven offering. A few of our customers, starting at the right end of the spectrum here, as you see on the slide, a lot of our customers come to us, and this has happened over the past, I would say, 2 or 3 years, where consistently HP is being looked to as a trusted partner that would help our customers offload their non-differentiated heavy lifting, so to say, quote unquote, as the term that's being very commonly used in the industry today. It's, can you offload the non-differentiated heavy lifting for me so that I can focus on my core competency, I can focus on building my business, I can focus on being more competitive in the emerging landscape of the next generation of whatever business our customers could be in, be it financial, be it media, art and entertainment, be it in the health sector. It doesn't matter where they are, but they want to be competitive. They want to be more efficient. They want to innovate in what they're best at. They want to innovate in their business domain. and have a partner like HP offload the non-differentiated heavy lifting for them. One of the forms of offloading that non-differentiated heavy lifting comes in the form of a managed service offering, where customers would like to say, give me an SLA, give me a bunch of services, give me a set of resources that I need to build my business, and you take care of everything else for me, while at the same time I need better control over the infrastructure, I need better control over cost, I need better control over security and compliance aspects of the infrastructure that drives my business. We have managed services offering that come as part of Helium, where we manage the cloud for our customers on their infrastructure, in their data centers, or we manage the cloud for our customers in our data centers. For those that would like to have solutions that are deployed within their data centers, we have the next set of customers that come to us asking for solutions that cut across hardware, software, and services, and give them an integrated solution to cater to a use case. They have specific pain points that they would like us to solve. They come to us with those pain points, and as we work through them in understanding the business requirements and needs, we basically distill what those pain points are, and based on those pain points, we have a few integrated solutions that we offer. Helium Cloud System, Helium Rack, Content Depot. You can look at this space of offerings as part of the Helium portfolio as the ones that have use case specific reference architectures or optimized solutions or factory pre-installed solutions that are almost plug and play. Time to value is the key. A lot of our customers care about how quickly can I deliver a solution? How quickly can I realize the value of a solution that I just bought from a vendor? So time to value is the key for some of these integrated solutions. You can quickly derive the time to value because we do all of that heavy lifting on our side before a solution gets shipped to a customer's premises. So what are those solutions? What are those offerings? At the core, we have the platform, and the platform is predominantly based on OpenStack. And HP, Helium, we have a distribution of OpenStack, which is hardened, enterprise-grade, robust, and fine-tuned for scalability purposes. And it's an open-source distribution of infrastructure as a service platform called Helium OpenStack. And then a few of our customers have gone past infrastructure as a service and are now looking at improving the agility, improving the time to deliver, improving essentially the time it takes for them to deliver a solution. How quickly can I take a solution to market? And a platform as a service, because offerings show up quite a bit. And as part of Helium offering, we have a Cloud Foundry-based platform as a service offering, and that's called Helium Development Platform. We've also been seeing pretty significant trend in terms of public cloud adoption, such as Amazon Web Services. As part of the Helium portfolio, we have Helium Eucalyptus, which essentially gives our customers the ability to deploy an Amazon Web Services-like cloud for themselves within their firewall. Expose the same set of APIs, same set of services. You can move workloads back and forth. You can build a hybrid cloud or repatriate workload from AWS to your on-premise Helium-based cloud, and Helium Eucalyptus is part of the portfolio as well. Now, HP Helium Cloud System is a flagship offering that brings these solutions and offerings together along with other portfolio offerings from across HP software, which Harvey is going to touch upon some of those. So Cloud System brings the hardware, software, services together and gives our customers a flexible option in terms of deploying private
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of questions coming up. So what version of HP Cloud Service Automation CSS, which is included in HP, and I will pronounce properly this time, HP Holion Cloud System Enterprise?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have Cloud System 9, which was announced at Discover in last month in June. And as part of Cloud System 9, Helion Cloud System 9, we are going to be including the latest version of Cloud Service Automation, which is CSA 4.5.
Great. So actually, one more question. Why is HP approach to OpenStack technology important to customers? Do you want to talk it right now, or do you want to go more in details about this?
Absolutely, I can address that question, and then happy to dig deeper as well if needed. As I was mentioning earlier, to Arvi's point as well, the transformation that we are seeing in the industry requires a high degree of automation, orchestration, and essentially, innovation. And OpenStack brings all of that together. It's a community-driven project, open source, contributors from across the globe, thousands of them, thinking about it day and night, innovating on top of a platform day and night is a big advantage. A lot of our customers have adopted OpenStack, and they're looking to HP to help them take it to the next level. From an OpenStack perspective, the community version is great, but something more, that is enterprise grade, that is long-term supported, that is easier to install, manage at scale. These are the enterprise grade requirements that Helion brings together on top of the community version of OpenStack. It's pretty foundational to the offerings of Helion, and delivers infrastructure and application transformation capabilities to our customers in an enterprise grade form factor.
Great. That's a great information, and I've been a great fan of HP Cloud actually, using that for last year. So let's move to the next slide, and let's see if you can give us more information now the cloud system portfolio. And I also have a question on this. Earlier we saw the cloud system portfolio of optimized solutions for cloud management. Can you tell us more about it? Sashi?
Absolutely, yeah. So cloud system is the flagship offering from HP Helion that brings together a bunch of different technologies focused around delivering certain use cases. Our customers would like to be able to bridge the gap between their existing infrastructure management and application development and deployment models to where they would like to be in the future. Traditional IT and cloud-native workloads are kind of the two different terminologies that we use to distinguish between the applications that are currently running in the enterprise space, and to some degree, the new cloud-native microservices, web services-based architecture, the scale-out model of applications that are now gaining popularity for all the right reasons. That's what we call the cloud-native space. So what cloud system enables our customers is essentially the ability to leverage their existing IT infrastructure and make their journey smoother towards a cloud-native paradigm of application development and deployment. How do we do that? We do that by bringing together OpenStack technologies. We do that by providing the Helion development platform, which is the Cloud Foundry-based platform as a service offering. We do that by bringing together a marketplace, service catalog and a marketplace that essentially lists the set of offerings, that allows service designers to populate the marketplace and expose that marketplace to their internal customers, such that you can quickly, start deriving the value of the application stack that you'd like to deploy based on the pre-configured catalog, or for those who would like to access the APIs directly, more of a programmatic approach towards infrastructure provisioning We expose the APIs from a Helium OpenStack or a development platform perspective. And the beauty is, we have Cloud Service Automation as the umbrella that exposes a hybrid cloud management platform on top of Helium OpenStack, Helium Development Platform, and Helium Eucalyptus, helping our customers bridge the gap between the traditional IT infrastructure as well as the cloud-native world, including those workloads that might be running in a public cloud like AWS or an Azure. So it's a one-stop shop. It's a flagship offering, and comes in different form factors. You can deploy Cloud System in the form of just your software. So Cloud System Foundation, Cloud System Enterprise 9 actually runs on a wide variety of hardware. That's one of the key aspects that when we talk about Cloud System, the key demand in the market and the trend that we're seeing in the market is around moving to a heterogeneous space, having no vendor lock-in, and that is what the openness, the hybridness, no vendor lock-in, and that approach is at the core of Cloud System philosophy. So we support HP and non-HP hardware for the software offerings from Cloud System. We support a wide variety of hypervisors as well. You want to use it on VMware ESX, sure. You have your Red Hat shop, and you would like to deploy and reap the benefits of an enterprise-grade OpenStack distribution along with Cloud Foundry, along with a wonderful marketplace and easy-to-use service catalog with accounting, chargeback, reporting, usage reporting, and whatnot. All of that comes packaged to you, and you want to run it on top of a Red Hat environment with KDM? Sure, you can do that as well. So that's what Cloud System delivers as a software offering. Now, we do have customers that would like to go a step further and say, not only do I need the software offering, but I want it to be in a form factor that comes bundled with hardware, so that it's almost a plug and play for me, and factory pre-installed and cloud in a box kind of an environment. It comes in at different scales, and based on what workloads they would like to run, we can also give them a choice of different kinds of hardware that would drive the infrastructure. So Cloud System Enterprise Solution is focused around providing our customers software, hardware pre-bundled if they choose to use such an offering, along with HP services that would help them in their journey of cloud all the way from design to deployment to ongoing operations and maintenance. There are more aspects to it in terms of I can get into the features and whatnot in terms of bare metal provisioning to HP OneView and the matrix operating environment. That's where a lot of our customers are today, and how we accommodate that as well as our system. It's simple at the same time, caters to a bunch of different use cases. So Cloud System 9 is, looking forward to the launch of the product that's going to happen sometime late August, early September, or mid-September.
Well, we also are looking forward for that. Great information. I just want to move to the next slide and learn more about this cloud system. And you know what? I'm sorry I have to ask you so many questions, but this is so much interesting and informatic that I just want to learn this more, and the audience wants to learn about this also. So Sashi, can you tell us more about the Cloud System Enterprise SW virtual appliance, and what job does it address to?
Absolutely, yeah. So, as I mentioned, the form factor in which our offerings get delivered is pretty key to a lot of our customers. All of this, you can look at this as tying back to the original objective, which is how can I shrink the time to market, right? Essentially, being able to derive the value of an offering really quickly, so that I can actually start seeing the impact an offering from HP has on my business. So that if I'm a CIO, that's going to be at the top of mind for me. I implement a solution. How quickly can I actually start seeing the business outcome, go in a positive direction? The virtual form factor, the virtual appliance, is a step towards that. those that would like to quickly deploy in the form of virtual machines, and have the management plane have a much smaller footprint, while at the same time be as feature-rich as any other deployment model, and be as highly available and reliable and scalable as any other deployment model. That's what Cloud System Enterprise Software Virtual Appliance tries to deliver. And as part of that, the virtual appliances include Helium OpenStack, Helium Development Platform, Cloud Service Automation, which I think RV is going to dig a little deeper into. That's where we probably talk more about the consumers, the architects, the administrators, and how the service catalog helps bring together the different types of applications that are being deployed today in the enterprise. That kind of bridges the gap between the different lines of businesses, the different needs, the different types of application workloads. All of that coming together as a service catalog allows the central IT team to still continue doing the business as they have in the past, but in a much more efficient way, and gives them the ability to cater to the needs of the next generation of application developers.
Great. Yeah, of course, we want to know more about the system, and I think we can just move to the next slide and let RV talk a little bit more about it. RV and Sashi, RV, I'm asking too many questions, and we're getting a lot of questions also, and we're going to get it that's right. So RV, I think now, yeah, it's really interesting. And before you talk about this on this slide, just have a quick question that HP Cloud Service Automation is the engine that powers Cloud System Enterprise SW. Can you elaborate further on this cloud management platform software, please?
Sure, absolutely, Ali. Now, we love the questions, actually. This is the best way to kind of get engaged with us, right? So to kind of know how we really can help you solve the problems. So taking it a little bit further, what kind of Shashi was talking about, so our portfolio of Helion, one of the flagship products of that portfolio is the Cloud System Enterprise. And kind of you saw that earlier, what constitute our Cloud System Enterprise. One of the core components of our Cloud System Enterprise solution, of course, we build on top of open source innovation, which is like OpenStack, right? But on top of it, we have our crown jewels IP, which is from HP, which is what we call as the Cloud Service Automation. That's what you're seeing here. This is just a little bit for those folks in the audience that are techie folks, right? So I'm sure there are some of them. And kind of to explain to you a little bit more about what is Cloud Service Automation and how does it kind of fit together in a bigger picture, right? So let me help you walk through a little bit from bottom up here, so it kind of would make sense. So if you look at it from the bottom, it is the infrastructure that we talked about, and this infrastructure, think of this as your compute or storage or network or any type of infrastructure. Either you buy it from HP or you buy it from other vendors, such as could be like the Dell or other servers, or it could be some high-end servers from HP itself, right? So it could be this heterogeneous infrastructure that's out there. And then on top of it, what we're talking about is this open and heterogeneous architecture where you can bring in the technologies. On the left side, what you're seeing is some of this is like infrastructure software, which is such as like VMware, could be a hypervisor, or it could be any type of hypervisor, is it from Microsoft, or else it could be KVM. So that's kind of the heterogeneous aspect of it. Or you could use container technologies, right? So I'm sure many of you are getting exposed into. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
This is it's an infrastructure. It's not just about the service, right? It could be something like the Docker containers or CoreOS. So there is a new revolution that is happening. If you're probably part of the Silicon Valley tied up closer, probably you're hitting it quite more. In the last year and a half, there's a whole lot of more innovation that is coming along on this Docker and Kubernetes and the container technology, how we can leverage that, right? So that is also a core component that we could leverage within our Cloud Service Automation framework, right? So those are some of the different types of components that you can bring in. Or you can bring in application level components, the one you're seeing kind of a little bit to the middle, such as Puppet or Chef, or any of those kind of technologies, right? So these are like recipes and things of that nature, which potentially some of you might already be using it, or maybe some of your developers may be using it. kind of leveraging that investment and work that has been done by those folks into this so that you don't need to kind of go back and kind of reinvent the wheel. So you take those recipes and you take those scripts from Puppet and make them as a competent and first-class citizen in your cloud management solution, right? So we can do that as well. And the last not but the least, but you can also then look at solutions from outside of your solutions, such as like AWS or public clouds, such as AWS or Azure, or even SaaS providers, right? So you can think of this as a Google as a SaaS provider, or it could be like Workday or NetSuite, any of these kind of things. So the point is, if you're able to bring in infrastructure or applications or any other type of SaaS applications on-prem or on the cloud, you can bring all these together and we create a service design and what we call as the model in which we can compose a service out of that. And then we are able to deliver that to our customers. So here, what you're seeing here, the blue box, a little bit on the top, which kind of encompasses all those small components. I know it's a little bit busy slide here. I'm sure for the technical guys, you would love it. But for those for on the business side, you might kind of find it a little bit more detailed. But for you to key takeaway here, now you look at from the top, there are two pieces here, the two entry points. One on the left is the consumer marketplace, where you can come in and make IT as a self-service. So where you can come in and you request for a particular service. It could be a dev environments or test environments or production environments. And these environments could be as simple as just give me a VM, all the way to a complex multi-tier rack environment, right? So, or a multi-tier full application systems with a rack as a component. So this could be something you can request it, and it is not just about provisioning it, but also about lifecycle management of it, such as patching it, monitoring it, and do decommissioning of that over a period of time, right? Including backup and disaster recovery of that. So those are the things that you could expose it to your customers meaning IT exposing it to service line of business, or when you're a service provider, if you're one of your customers or listening, could be service providers, you could then make it your business to expose this to your end customers, right? So that's what we call it as the service marketplace. On the right side, what you're seeing at the top is the administration console. This is where traditionally the IT logs into this portal and manages the infrastructure that all I was talking about earlier, right? So you have to take this infrastructure, either it's platform or applications or services, composing all of them and designing them and putting prices on top of it, creating organizations and attaching roles and responsibilities for the people who has got access and all that good stuff that traditionally is done on the IT side, that happens in this space, right? So this all happens on an open and heterogeneous framework. So you could have potentially different hypervisors on-prem or off-prem. You could potentially use different kind of OSS, bare metal or virtualization or containers. So these are all the choices that we provide you, right? So that's the key takeaway. For all, there's one thing I want you guys to take away is this is an open architecture, innovative, and a leading private cloud solution, which kind of gives you a choice. Okay. So one other comment on this also, on the right side, what you're seeing here is a testimony to that. The other capabilities and 5,000 plus out-of-the-box workflows. So what we mean by that is we know for sure many large IT companies such as yours, right? You always have different technology providers. You are not really necessarily locked into one vendor. So we do expect that you to have different technology components. So we provide out of the box a whole lot of components. When we say component, this is like connectors or adapters, if you will, right? So that then you can bring in those adapters and components as part of your self-service portal. So basically you turn all those investments that you already made, and we provide you out-of-the-box content to put together to make your IT as self-service. Right. So Ali, I hope it gives a kind of a picture of what cloud service automation is and how it helps really solve our customer problem.
Right, it does, and I can see like how our HP customers can leverage from in different industries and everything. Before moving to the next slide, I'm getting a lot of questions, so we have some time. We're gonna bring all other questions to you, Ravi and Sashi. So I know the audience are very looking forward to get those questions answered. So I'm just like getting some of the questions on from you guys.
One quick comment I would make, Ali. Yeah, so even if we didn't get a chance to answer all the questions, so we should hopefully get back to the people who are asking questions offline as well. Yeah, please go ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think 4.5 is the version for cloud service automation, correct?
Right. That's correct. That's correct, Ali. So the flagship product, the CSA, as earlier we were talking about, Cloud System Enterprise is getting released in August timeframe, kind of a little bit around the timeframe, either early August or mid-August, and that will contain CSA 4.5. CSA 4.5 is a core technology that I was talking about earlier. It just got released like a few weeks ago. So what we're doing is we're taking that and we are integrating in the context of Cloud System Enterprise and doing that in August. So that's what we're going to do. Now what you're seeing here actually are the core capabilities of the Cloud Service Automation. So I'll call out a couple of them, but I think it will be interesting to you guys. So on the top left, what you're seeing here, this is the state-of-the-art leading private and hybrid cloud management solution in the industry. It's by far the most comprehensive solution, and guess what? It leverages the OpenStack innovation already, right? So if you are interested in OpenStack and you want to leverage that, we provide a seamless integration with Helion OpenStack, and we should let you leverage those innovations out of CSA. So you're not losing anything. So in fact, you're gaining a whole lot more and providing you an heterogeneous play there. Right. So what we also went ahead and did is we built in kind of the search capabilities. So this is one of the, and you would see that quite often there. So some of the core capabilities we have built in is for the large enterprises and service provider type of capabilities. Search is one of them, kind of searching through all your services and catalogs and services that are existing to identify the services that you want to tackle, right? So that's another one. And we've done quite a lot of work on multi-tenancy. This is one of the other things that kind of comes up quite a lot when we talk about with large enterprise customers, where they themselves, even though they are not service provider, by the way, they are large enterprise IT, but they kind of play a role of service providers internal to the business. So they kind of call themselves as internal service providers, right? So their customers are line of business. So whatever the solution that we build actually for service provider kind of applies to them as well. So we built that multi-tenancy capabilities. We already had in our earlier versions, we've kind of provided some advanced capabilities on the space. And one of the topic there was pricing. I know this is an interesting topic for a lot of people, right? So when infrastructure is self-service, the challenge is how do we make sure that the cost is important, right? So you don't want to kind of in the traditional world, infrastructure is used only like 5 to 10% in real world. But in the explosion of self-service, how does this going to work, right? So that's one of the biggest challenges that IT leaders, CIOs have. And what we do with that is an ability to IT to kind of price the service. As you provide self-service IT, you can then price those services. And then over a period of time, you can show back to them. I mean, show back being show to the line of business how much resources are they consuming. I mean, you don't need to charge them if you're an internal service provider. You can just show back. So kind of which will drive certain behavior which you really want, right? So you can model the price, and that's a capability that we introduced. The other thing maybe I would want to kind of add a little bit more is on the top right, you would see, and I kind of earlier mentioned, in our guiding principles, the one we have is about called embrace and extend. So we embrace, certainly OpenStack is one of the embrace strategies, but also is also about Puppet and Chef. So if you are a customer who has already done some investment on those technologies, how do we provide a way to build on top of it so that you don't throw away those? So we have a very simple way to configure a Puppet on Chef servers from CSA, and then you can then create a service design out of those components. So you're not losing any investment that you already made. So kind of a seamless heterogeneous cloud that you can build out of that. So those are some of these capabilities that we built, and this is a robust enterprise scale cloud management platform, and we continue to augment that. And we'd love to spend more time if any of you are listening or any of your customers are interested. We'd love to spend more time with you guys later.
Great, great. That was very informative, RV. So I think one of the questions what I was coming in my mind is like, what should one person should be looking out for when adopting and selecting a cloud management platform? So, if you can a little bit elaborate on that and give some great information on that too.
This is an excellent question, Ali. So this is one of the tough questions that kind of comes up quite often when we talk about with a lot of customers, what I call an executive briefings or customer discussions. Technologies are great, right? So cloud system enterprise, CSA, all these technologies are great, and we engineers and systems guys, we love to build great solutions. But I think the more challenging part, I think, as the business leaders or IT leaders, where we run into is how do you take this solution and how do we implement them? I mean, how do we go through this whole journey, right? So that's one of the biggest challenge, and we hear a lot. So as we kind of learned in our discussions from our customers, we kind of created this framework, and I think that's what you're seeing here. Think of this as kind of your the journey to the cloud or journey to the hybrid IT kind of the state where this is a kind of a path our customers take. Now, many of our customers are probably in multiple stages at the same time. So what I mean by that is maybe there are certain business units or even certain IT that they might have done like 50% of automate, and they would have probably done like on the orchestrate, they may be like 20%, 30% there, and they may be doing some center of excellence activity in the transform, right? So just to kind of set the framework, I mean, it's not necessary that you have to finish one to go to the next stage, right? So that's kind of a little bit of the context. So let me delve a little bit deeper into this. So what we talk about when we say is a maturity model. The customers, of course, they need to standardize before they even get this automate task, right? So one of the core principles in terms of IT is about making sure that you do things which are standardized. So hence, you can then move to automate. So we talk about automate being a way to kind of put all these tasks together and kind of, instead of doing it manually, how can you do it in an automated way? And some of the use cases in this space is about provisioning tasks. It could be patching tasks, and this could be the database patching, or it could be OS patching, or it could be compliance reports that you need to run. All of these are some of these traditional tasks that one need to do in the world of IT, right? So one suggestion we have to our customers is maybe that's the first place you want to start with. Now you go back and look at what are the most challenging, expensive, most common occurring tasks, and then maybe the step one is to kind of figure out how to automate that. Now you don't need to finish it, and there's going to be a point of diminishing return. So you need to figure out what those critical sets are, at least get them under control in terms of automation. And once you do that, then you want to then move on to the next stage of orchestrating processes. What we mean by that is put all these tasks that you automated first together, and either if you're following an idle process or maybe you have your own kind of a version of the IT processes. One of the examples could be restart a web server when some ticket comes in, right? Maybe you have all these scripts that are written to identify what is the challenge that is going on the server. It could be a JVM hang, or it could be a database restart. And maybe then there's a script that you've already written to restart the database because you have to shut down all the dependencies and then start everything up, right? So maybe that you already have done in the kind of the automate phase. So in the orchestrate phase, basically what you're trying to do is put all these things which you do automatically, and then define a process and then kind of execute that process whenever that request comes in, right? So that's kind of what we talk about. Again, you might want to identify what are the most important processes that you need to automate. Maybe one of the factors is how often that process is getting called or invoked, or is it more error prone, right? Certain tasks like you want to do every month, you want to do a disaster recovery testing because it never gets done, right, until you're really disaster strikes. So you might want to automate those kind of processes which you never get to. So that'll be the stage 2. And then the stage 3 is more about, now that you have some of these processes automated, then turn them into self-service. I mean, why do you have to wait for some tickets to be logged? And then there are a lot of white spaces in between a ticket getting logged and a process get kicked off and then the ticket get closed. Is there a way then to turn these kind of processes into kind of self-service? And this could be like request for development environments, request for restarts, request for database restarts, request for backups, request for patching, request for, so the list goes on and on and on. So basically, again, from a business point of view, you want to find out what is the most common, most valuable process that needs to be then turned into self-service, which your customer would like to have, right? So this is a kind of a framework that we put together, and it really resonates really well. And this could be like building a private, what you're seeing here, what we call out certain use cases under each of these stages, which seems to resonate to our customers, right? So this is one approach, and we seem to, we've been talking to our customers for a while, and we kind of gravitated towards this framework, and we tested this, and it really works. Love you guys to provide us feedback as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So, Sashi, before you, Sashi, I have a question, and I know you did a quick introduction about HP Cloud and everything. I'm hearing like these concerns that cloud adoption can be quite daunting. So, what you can advise to the customers who are having HP clouds or other clouds?
Indeed. You know, I think the transformation is depending on how you look at it. You can approach this from two different angles. One is from the application side. The other one is from the infrastructure side. But they're actually very related, very intricately tied to each other. So one of the key things that we recommend, and you know, as we work with you know, our global customers, one of the key things that we recommend is for customers to identify what success means to them, to their business. Now, what are this? When we say a cloud deployment is successful, we need to be able to define what the success criteria look like. So that's probably the first step. You know, when we get to that phase, it's typically about, you know, we can automate, we can orchestrate, we can re-architect some of the applications from you know, scale up to a scale out model. We can rewrite some of those applications in a cloud native way. But typically, you know, starting with what success means, what are we trying to achieve, has always paid off. You know, that's a sure shot way to take something that looks daunting at the get-go and break it down into smaller milestones that we can achieve. And you know, celebrate quick success is going to be very important as we move through our you know, cloud transformation journeys. And it's also important to realize that as a customer moves from you know, bare metal to virtualization to using containers and you know, having these different silos of infrastructure to manage different types of applications or to cater to different application needs, it's going to be important for us to figure out, you know, what the application workloads needs are. I think starting from the application like top down has always paid much better results. And to Arvi's earlier point, it starts with the catalog. It starts with understanding of what the service designs look like. It starts with an understanding of who the end consumers are for these applications. Do these applications need to be deployed at a global scale? Do they need to have a content distribution network? Because you know, most of your consumers of the application are going to be globally distributed and accessing the application through some kind of a smartphone or a handheld device. You know, understanding the needs. Is it more like a big database workload? You know, do you need Oracle RAC in the back end? What kind of hardware do you need for that? So understanding the workload characteristics, understanding the needs of these workloads, and understanding the infrastructure requirements for these workloads will be a big step forward. And when we get to that phase, it becomes very clear that the transformation to a hybrid infrastructure is actually not a linear journey. Depending on the customer needs, we've seen certain customers, of course, you know, if you look at a similar slide from the industry, say 3 years ago or 4 years ago, or maybe even 2 years ago, you'd have seen a linear journey that was being prescribed by many vendors. You know, what we've realized is it's actually not a linear journey. It can take multiple directions. Once you realize what applications and what workloads and what success means to your business, what outcomes are you trying to achieve, there are different ways of getting to that destination. You know, you can have privately deployed cloud. You can have broker cloud where, you know, perhaps a single cloud cannot cater to all the needs of your applications, and you may need to broker across multiple clouds. And these clouds can be deployed, some of them can be in-house, some of them can be in a partner's data center or a colo. It can be in an HP data center, it can be a public cloud. we need to be able to broker across these different clouds and deploy these clouds in a private cloud manner or in a managed private cloud setting or leverage even a public cloud setting. And that is what you will see HP as such, overall. That's what HP is driving towards, and that's the in a nutshell, that's what our portfolio caters to. The diversity of the audience, recognizing that the heterogeneity that's involved in the enterprise space is key, and our portfolios reflect that heterogeneity, accommodating the openness, the hybridness, and the flexibility that our customers ask for.
Great information, Sashi and Arvi. I mean, I'm so right now, like I'm kind of like floating in the cloud right now with those information and very educational. So I think our audience want to learn more about HP Cloud and HP Helium, and I think they can visit the HP website, hp.com/go/cloud system, and visit also hp.com/go/CSA to learn more about HP Helium and HP Cloud and service they provide. And I think they can also follow these social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, and YouTube, and learn more about HP Cloud and HP Helium. And also, if they have any want more information from you, Ari and Sashi, I think they can get more information from these sites and these social media. We are running out of time, Sashi and Ari, so we're gonna do a really quick Q&As. We're gonna take some questions, and if you gentlemen can answer those questions, and then so we can just wrap up that's really quickly. So Sashi, a quick question came for you is like, how is HP Helium Cloud System software licensed? I know you a little bit highlighted that in the beginning.
Sure. So from a licensing perspective, again, flexibility is the key. Different customers have different needs, and we cater to those needs by offering a cloud system in two different licensing models. One is a perpetual per server license model, which essentially looks at the number of physical servers you have and in your environment, and offers those licenses for cloud systems. We also have an operating system instance-based licensing model. It's called the OSI licensing model, where essentially you start looking at the number of instances that are being managed as part of cloud system, and you can purchase as many licenses as you need in terms of how many operating system instances you would be managing as part of cloud system deployment. So these are two different deployment models or licensing models that you have. OSI and named physical server licensing model.
Great. I will take one more question, and this goes to you, Ari. What version of HP Cloud Service Automation is included in HP Helium Cloud System Enterprise? If you can briefly highlight some more points on that.
Yeah, sure. The version right now, what we have is the current version. What we out there is version 4.1 as part of our Cloud System Enterprise. That's the version out there. Like Shashi was mentioning earlier, so we're going to take our latest version of our CSA 4.5, which got released like a week ago. We're going to integrate that and provide out-of-the-box kind of an experience in our August release with the Cloud System Enterprise. That's version 9. So that's our plan.
Great. I have one more question, Ari, for you. So how does HP Helium Cloud System 9.0 leverages the use of HP Cloud Service Automation 4.5? Right.
So if you kind of think about this a little bit one step back, we kind of touched on it earlier, but maybe I think it will, if you look at this a little bit of a bigger picture, Cloud System Enterprise is our way to provide a great time to value for our customers. Right, so time to value is one of the biggest challenges in if you're an OpenStack, you've learned anything about OpenStack, if you've used it, or if you've used other technologies from other providers, and even you look at the cloud management platform in general, right? So getting all this set up and making it all run and delivering value to the business is one of the biggest challenge. Cloud System Enterprise exactly solves that particular problem. Right? So it brings all these great innovation, cool technologies together and deliver that to you in a very simple time to value format. So that's the whole big purpose of it. So Cloud System Enterprise is an appliance, and as earlier we talked about, and it actually includes all these technologies like OpenStack plus the cloud service automation. And it actually provides a comprehensive cloud management platform to our customers, which is heterogeneous and open.
Oh, great. Awesome, RV, Sashi. Thank you for that great presentation. It was very informative. We are running out of time, so we have a lot of questions over here. So what we're going to do is that, audience, we're going to send these questions of yours to RV and Sashi, and they can reply back via email. RV, Sashi, and their team can do that. Is that something people want to learn more about this service and how they can leverage using HP Cloud? So again, thank you very much, RV, Sashi, for the great presentation. It was very informative. Very educational. I mean, I was kind of like moved to know like how much HP has is providing, and HP customers can leverage from HP Cloud and their service. And so I know there are big data conferences coming up in 2015, August 10, 13, which it will be in our historical downtown Boston. Which if member members can click on this unique link and can register for that conference, the HP Big Data, which will be on August 10th and 13th. Before we end this webinar, just again, I want to thank you, Ari and Sashi, for your great time, and thank you for presenting today, and which really helped us understand how HP Cloud and Helium has been booming and increasing in the market. So at the end, thank you everyone for attending the webinar. Today's webinar, as I said before, is recorded, and the slides and the recording will be shared with all the Vivit members. Please be sure to complete the short survey after the webinar ends, and subscribe to receive more information from HP Software. Again, just a reminder that the webinar recording and slide deck will be posted on the Vivit website. In the next few days, you will receive an email with those links. Again, thank you, Ari, Sashi, for this great presentation, and thank you everyone for being attending this webinar. Have a great day.
Thanks, Ali. Thanks, everybody.